Hello, everyone, and welcome to our new webinar about AI in retail. We're going to show you a lot of interesting insights about this business and what's going on in retail right now. My name is Magdalena Okszeja. I'm an AI strategy advisor at DStream. I'm helping companies to translate their needs, the business needs, into the technical solutions. And today with me, we have Dominik. Dominik Radwański is our business unit director. And as the role says, Dominik is mainly having a lot of contacts with our customers, current customers, becoming customers, and discussing their needs and problems. So today's webinar is about retail, and I'm sure Dominik has a lot of interesting insights about what's going on, and especially in today's AI world. So without further ado, Dominik, what's going on in retail in 2026?
Yeah, hello guys. So in terms of retail in 2026, so maybe let's start with the simple reality check. So retail in 2026 is not harder because people got worse, but it's harder for one main reason: the scale exploded. So we have more SKUs, more promotions, more stores. The second one is that customers switch faster than ever, and at the same time, margin stays under the constant pressure. Uh, Volume of data. That's the massive problem. The volume of data is massive, and decisions have to be made every single day and quickly. So the key point is that retail complexity has reached a level where humans can no longer manually control it. And this is not a competence problem. I would say that it is a scale problem. So maybe let's bring that to the something very normal, human limits. On the picture, you can see four symptoms of human limits, represented by Maradona, hands of God, and the Titanic accident, Columbus and his discovery, and the Cuban Missile Crisis. And can you see the pattern and recognize those limits, Magda?
The human limits. I mean, I think of two for sure. One is making kind of emotional decisions, so being very human in how we approach deciding on things, right? That's what I can think of first. The other would be the kind of ability to have a full context, like all the data we need to make a right decision. That's the other thing I can think of a human limits.
That's actually very good. So I would say that human decisions are subjective, and in this case, we are not talking about the referees. We actually talking about the referees' decision, not the Maradonas. They are reactive. In this case, reaction came too late. Uh, Limits and people are based on the partial information. So Columbus did not have a full picture of planet expedition, and they are influenced by emotions. So during 13 days of the Cuban crisis, decisions were made under the pressure and emotion that almost bring both sides to the nuclear war. So this is not a flaw; it's a human nature.
Okay, so if we talk about human nature, and now the topic is retail,
Yeah.
how this all translates into the retail world. Tell us a little bit more.
That's good question. So maybe let's put that on the numbers, those limits. So imagine a retailer with the $50 billion in annual revenue, and this company faces an inefficiency pool of roughly $2.4 billion per year. That's around the 5% of the total revenue. So, based on the research from McKinsey, BTG, and ECR, we can group those main sources of inefficiencies into five areas. So, the first one is the inventory inaccuracy and stock imbalance. So, this alone can drive losses of around 625 millions dollars per year, and the benchmark show estimates between 4 and 11% of sales. So in this situation, I assume that 5% of the revenue that never actually happened due to this issue, and the gross margin of 25%. So the root causes are wrong system stocks, phantom inventory, and poor replenishment signals. Second, we have out of shelf problem, and this represents roughly $97 million, or about 0.8% of lost sales. And that correlates with the product that exists somewhere but not on the shelf. The third one, that's the waste and markdowns, especially in fresh categories. This creates around $200 million in losses. It's roughly 1.6% of revenue. And the key reason of that is that decisions are mainly taken too late. The fourth one is ineffective promotion and trade spend, and that's the biggest bucket, around $1.5 billion. And we assume that 15% of the company revenue is consumed by trade and promotion activities, and research shows that around 30% of promotion that are not incremental. And finally, we have manual work, and this costs roughly 9 million per year, assuming that company has 50 people in the category management department. So yeah, this expert fighting data problems instead strewing value. And this is important. This is not because the people are making mistakes. It's because rather that human cannot manually manage millions of daily decisions. And a typical category management managers, they looks like this, and we are not blaming them for that. Is that in the morning they deal with the tons of emails, Excel files, and dashboards coming from the different systems. And by the time they look at the data, it's already outdated. Everything seems to be urgent. Decisions are made under the strong pressure of time and pressure when the real context is often blurred. And then by afternoon, day turns into the firefighting. And the reality is simple. Even the best category managers cannot consistently optimize hundreds of stores and thousands of SKUs at the same time. So, can we done it better? Yes, but only if we stop expecting people to do what systems are designed for. And you seen this slide before. Limits didn't change. What changed is how human deal with them. And the history gave us a very clear pattern. VAR was not introduced because referees are bad, but because modern football needs more objective and consistent decisions. Radar and sonar were added to ships to extend human sensing. GPS replaced intuition, and after a given crisis, a direct hotline was introduced to reduce delay and remove emotional escalations. And the logic is always the same. Evidence instead the intuition, proactivity instead of reaction, and visibility instead of blind spots. So retail actually has reached that moment, the moment of change. And let me introduce the AI closed loop. This is not another report or one more dashboard. We are introducing a system that senses reality, decides what matters financially, and executes action and learn actually from the outcomes. And model one is a inventory truth engine. This is the foundation of everything. So today, inventory data is often treated as good enough, but in reality, is the one of the biggest sources of bad decision in retail. The inventory truth engine harmonizes sales, deliveries, transfers, and all stock movements. And it detects phantom stocks, false overstocks, and hidden shortages across the network. So the results are actually simple but powerful. Inventory stops being assumption and becomes the trusted input for decisions. And with this model, everything else is remain opinion based. And model two is the stockout radar. So stockouts occasionally happen suddenly. So they build up quietly long before sales actually collapse. The stockout radar continuously monitors early warnings of signals, so like missing sales, abnormal demand patterns, and inventory that exists in the system but not on the shelf. So instead of telling a category manager you had a out of stock yesterday, it tells them you are about to lose margin today. And the third one, this is the fresh optimizer. So fresh categories are where intuition becomes the most expensive. The optimizer forecasts demand at the store SKU level, optimizes how much to order and when, and recommend markdowns before waste happens. So and the key point is that waste actually goes down without increasing out of stocks. So it's not by pushing the single lever, but the balancing freshness and the margin at the same time. Model 4. So model 4 is the trade and promo optimizer, and most retailers run promotion to move volume. This model asks the much harder question. The question is that did the promotion actually create incremental profit? And the promo and trade optimizer measures the true uplift in that identifies cannibalization, flags margin destructive promotions before they go live, and relocates budget to the mechanics that actually works. As a result, promotions stop being emotional or supplier driven decision. And the last but not least, we have the merchant copilot, the fifth model. And this is where AI meets humans. The merchant copilot removes mechanical work from category managers' day. And that means there is no manual slides, no copy paste reports, and no rebuilding the same analysis for, let's say, third time. So instead, the category manager can simply ask, why did margin drop in the category X? Or what happens if I remove SKU Y? The copilot explain the answers in the clear business language and proposes next best actions, always with the human control and final approval.
Yeah, that sounds like I would say, very cohesive, very holistic, like a solution for retailers. And I assume the AI word was not there intentionally because it's all like outcome focused, right? But let's say we have it all and how it translates into the everyday work, how the everyday work changes for, let's say, the category manager or someone who has to deal with such problems.
Yeah. So it starts with the one copilot view. So in the morning, you can imagine that category manager spends let's say 10 minutes reviewing that truly matters. So margin risk, upcoming stockouts, waste exposure, a weak promotion, all ranked by the financial impact. Uh, the job of the category manager shifts from searching for problems to approving the best actions. At the midday, execution happens automatically, and the category managers step in only where judgment is needed. And in the afternoon, a 5 minutes review closes the loop. That's the key shift. Less firefighting, more steering, and that's what AI changes in the category management.
And this is how somehow you show the losses at the very beginning, how much the companies lose, and now we have this kind of structured system approach, like implementing this kind of modules or kind of modular vision of how we can solve the problems, right?
Mhm.
And then what's the outcome for the company?
Yeah, that's very very good questions for all the retailers. So from the inefficiency pool, you remember around the $2.4 billion, we can realistically recover around 9% within 12 months. So that's roughly $210 million per year, and most of it comes from the inventory and out of shelf issues, about $155 million, by recovering just a small fraction of lost sales. And following that, waste reduction adds around 30 million. Promotions efficiency contributes another 22 millions, and productivity unlocks brings roughly 3 millions just by automating manual work. So one more important thing is to be clear. We are operating on the focused improvements. 1% here, 5% there, but at the retail scale, those percentages translate into hundreds of millions in value. And this is about building better decisions year after year. So yeah, if you want to go deeper into assumptions, benchmarks, or specific numbers, we are happy to continue the conversation. You can just write me email or LinkedIn, or even ask question here. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Thank you, Dominic. That was super interesting. And the great fact is that we were talking about kind of technology, but to be honest, we were talking about the business. And that's how it should be always, right? Okay, then. Now it's the time for all of you to think of the question to Dominic or me as well. And we're going to, reply as best as we can. In the meantime, maybe as you're thinking of the questions, I'll share a little bit more about the company that allowed us to be here and is actually brought to you this webinar as every month. DA Stream. So we are a company based in Warsaw, Poland. We're a software development company working on the outsourcing projects. Full projects delivery end-to-end as well. And our team is 160, and I think it's even more, plus people right now. And we work mainly with customers, as you probably noticed, retail, FMCG, 500, Fortune 500 companies, and can be also healthcare, e-commerce, but we have a lot of expertise, as you can see, and especially Dominic in the retail and FMCG businesses. And our team is mainly data scientists, machine learning engineers, AI. So we are very into trending with the roles, what's happening on the market, and that's been with this company for the last 9 years that we are on the market. So that's about us. And now time for questions. Okay, let me read the question to you, Dominic. So
All right.
for a retailer who's just starting out with AI, what's the one area you would recommend to focus on first?
That's a very good question because you
Mm.
have to start somewhere. Maybe I will jump into my slide deck, and what I will point out this model because, as I said, this model is a base for every another model. It's correlated with other models. It's a
Mhm.
foundation of data that system are making decisions that are truly valued. So I will start in the perfect situation here, but it depends on the situation of the specific use case, specific retailer, because uh, you can have the data that truly matters, and we need to implement those models maybe in the promo efficiency area, or you have data about the waste in the waste module. So I will recommend start there. But in the perfect world, I will start with the model one.
Okay, so going back to the roots, one version of the truth and great data to be able to work on,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, we can see another question from Jakub. How long does it typically takes to implement AI solution like this and start seeing results? Maybe I'll take this
Yeah.
question
Go.
this time. I know everyone wants to know exact timing, and this obviously depends on the needs of the company. We shown like the 5 modules that you can actually, this is kind of a structured way of thinking of the implementation, but it doesn't mean it has to be all of that, right? I would say in the modern world right now, when we are and everything happens with the help of AI and coding in a fast way, I would not say that this takes months. I would rather say that at least for us, right, because we are taking the consideration the way we are trying to implement those systems. So I would say if you're looking for someone to help you to build something like this, 6 to 8 weeks should be the time when you should seek some kind of a first results, right? At least the first KPIs that you agree with someone who's delivering the system to you should be able to see some progress, some baseline, maybe the module first kind of implemented the way that you can see it's working and it's actually solving your problem. In the long run, obviously, those kind of larger projects might take a little bit more time, but I would not say it's more than few months in the 2 days work. I think it's top what we can say. No one expects the projects to take years and years, right?
Yeah.
One more thing, maybe that's to make it very highlighted. What I meant by that is like whoever is building such solution for you, it has to be incremental work, incremental agreement that you split this into the smaller portions and you see the results, in a short period of time.
Yeah, I would also add to that the commitment from both sides, because if
Yeah.
it's a priority for both sides, for us and for our clients, you will see definitely result in the shorter amount of time.
Exactly, and that's kind of the thing what we always say, right? We can work. You bring in your data, you bring in someone who can work with us, and we can actually start helping you to deliver. But it takes two to this party.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions? Let's wait a moment. If we have anything come in, I'll wait a second this time.
Mhm.
Okay, no more questions. In that case, if you think of some question, you can contact us. You can scan this QR code and we can have some chat. You can also, drop a message to me or Dominic directly on LinkedIn. Whenever you can find us, and email us if you also want, and we can discuss your particular case and how we can help you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dominique. That was super interesting to learn all of those things about retail and AI in retail, especially. And till the next time. Thank
See you
you.
next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.